Okay, cool. So, Atlas Altera New Year's live stream. I made a little cute slide deck, and we have a little rewind first. So, Atlas Altera maps of 2024. We used to do a map per month, but this year has been a bit of a challenge. We've had quite a few kind of real life difficulties on my end, which people who know about it know, and if you don't know about it, you don't really need to know. It doesn't really matter at this point. But I am very happy to say that we got one of the wall mount maps finished, like one of my last wall mount map ideas, which is the Gaia Polyglotta map. And just after finishing that, Frank got, well, I forget who proposed it, but someone proposed that we try to fill in all the language gaps, a few more language gaps that they identified, and then Frank decided to do some kind of reverse coding, cross-referencing, and pointed out dozens of more language family gaps that we don't represent. And so this map is already outdated, and we are in the predicament of another huge patch that's going to come out sometime late spring. But yeah, you all know that. And then we got these two World War II maps that were spurred by Edouard Saladier's Hearts of Iron 4 kind of modding map, or I don't know how you describe it, but he was doing some kind of mod for the game, and we almost got our act together in creating the lore for the game to work. I did do some kind of historical lore, I guess, vision boarding and planning, but this is kind of stuck in development. In the meantime, we do have two beautiful maps, one before World War II and one at the late stages of World War II. And then we came out with a fun map on food habits. This one was about ketchup, right? And the word coming from Hokkien, and it being one of the first condiments that was introduced worldwide, and then being reinterpreted culturally by people around the world based on what staple crops were available. So that was another fun map to make. And then this is one of our first major community collaboration maps, where I think we have almost 50 languages represent here, where it says "We come in peace." I even went on to one of the Uralic subreddits to ask for help, and someone did deliver for one of the languages. I forget if it was Kanti. But yeah, we have some really cool languages represented there. Had a whole spreadsheet going on. And so I'm quite happy that the community came together to do this, along with some of the flags. This one is not Altera related, but as I said in the update post, this was a really cool demonstration of the skills and capacity that Mateo and I have developed in the last 4 years, or maybe more than that. I don't know how long we've been working together. But now that we have leveled up in our use of GIS and being able to edit what we export and reproject with Illustrator, we now have like a really cool streamlined process. And it's too bad I didn't start Altera this way. A lot of people complain about the coastlines, which, again, I would say is totally fine if you print it off and put it on a wall. Like, even when you inspect the wall mount maps in real life, you can't see that jaggediness, and your mind sees straight edges and straight coastlines the way you would online. It's just because you're zooming in at 800 times magnification at a coastline, which you're not really supposed to, right? Just anyway, I digress. But anyway, so this one was really cool. I also got into flagging. I made all the flags for that, or not. I'm not sure if it was all me. I think some other people helped. I don't recall anymore. But yeah, this was a real fun treat to do, and a cool demonstration of what we could be doing with Altera. And one day we come back and try to redo the coastlines. And then we have the first of a new series of maps, which all focus on etymologies. One funny thing is, when I wrote the lore for when I was tracking the lore for the project, one of the things I did religiously was write the etymologies of all of my country names. So we actually had all that data available, and I've been looking, I think on the internet sometimes people post like funky literal translation maps. and I thought we would take a gander at that for Altera. And it's been quite interesting. So Seabass and I have been doing this a lot together, and a few others have been helping to do some research. But so we're gonna do one for each continent, with the exception that Borealia, Eurasia, is split into two because it's so big. So the next one is Africa, and Africa's already done. I've posted it in, I think, the supporter or contributor channel for people to proofread. And once that's corrected, I'll be posting it next week. But yeah, so in the near future, you'll be seeing a lot more of these style of maps, interspersed with a few other cool, interesting maps, and we'll get to that later. Okay, so other highlights is some other highlights are the fact that we Altera, or yours truly, was approached by a academic in Denmark who asked me to do a presentation to his seminar for mapping. Like they just do, like I think the class was about mapping for East Asian Studies students. And so they had a very academic lens and asked some interesting questions. But the really cool part was that the professors were really interested in the project. Out of that, I created a slide deck and wrote a presentation, and I recorded it, but I recorded it with the audio input wrong. So I could only record what they were saying and not myself. So I have to re-record the presentation based off of the script I wrote before I upload that onto YouTube. I also created this little graphic here to kind of summarize some of the stuff that we've done. This is a small sample. I should say one kind of goal for the project personally is to actually create a catalog of all the stuff we've done. I think my filing system on Synology is not very good. And so there's a lot of maps that are probably just hidden in nooks and crannies there that Mateo and I have forgotten about. So yeah, that's another sidebar thing. But it would be cool to do a little inventory. Then another highlight was that we finally got the subreddit to really get active. One of the goals for 2024 was to get more community engagement on the subreddit and the server. A lot of people have been posting kind of like small little community contributions, but this year was the first year, I think, that we had like major submissions, fan submissions, community works, that mostly align with the lore for Altera. I've been trying to not be too tyrannical on controlling things, but I would say it's gone pretty well. I know like literally nothing about the Soviet Union. So thankfully, we've had some real nerdy, geeky interest in building the lore for that. We got like I think 2 or 3 posts related to that history. So anyway, so I've been very happy with that, and I do think a long time ago I actually promised prizes. I think I did a poll for giving out prizes for submitters, and I think that kind of spurred me or reminded me to do something like this for the community when I was like kind of reflecting over the holidays. Okay, so the next thing to talk about is those prizes. So this is what Mateo created. So Planta created this symbol here, which we use for our United Postal Service kind of department for the Society of Nations. And if you receive the postage stamp or a postcard from Altera, you'll recognize this. But it's also kind of got like some, not Illuminati, but like maybe like Freemason kind of connotations of like cosmopolitanism. So we sometimes use it for just general Altera decorative elements. These are the 6 colors of the chorographical map. And basically, this is going to be made into a pin, kind of like a medal. It's going to be an enamel pin that people will be receiving in the mail. Anyway, Order of Altera is what we call it. It's going to be 1.5 inches. I'm excited to see how it turns out. Never done something like this before. We will be submitting it, ordering it off of the internet. And then before we get to the Order of Altera awarding, first off, how did we kind of like pick people for of receiving this? Well, the main one was I definitely promised people prizes for submitting like community contributions that are approved, right? So these kind of like more higher level effort projects or higher level maps or graphics will most likely get you on the radar of being considered for the order. So really happy to kind of to give people recognition for their efforts there. The other thing is these two aspects, like the challenge submissions and the wiki and lore keeping. So I will say, like, our wiki is like, nowhere as advanced as other kind of community or online projects, fantasy stuff. I don't know, but we do have one, and we've taken a good stab at it, and that's thanks to someone like. Actually, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Avar or Avare? Avar. Anyway, that person was really spearheading this. They got a little sidetracked in the last year, but we've done a considerable amount of work, and we've also got a great placeholder flag for all our stub articles with the flag of Albania, and I love that. This is something that in the future will grow, and we're also going to try to figure out how to code it so that we can auto-generate wiki, at least like wiki summary pages for each country based on the fact sheet or the database that we have, right? So that's something that like will be in the back burner for the long time, for a while. But I'm really happy that we have something like this already. The other thing is challenges. So we have flag submissions, symbol submissions, photo submissions for different aspects of the projects. But more than just like being a very good flagger, I've tried to recognize like people who have been kind of like project managing the flagging and the challenge process. So I'm quite impressed by the fact that we have people in the community who like remember every submission, or like 80% of the submissions that have happened, remember versions, like they do version control, they process it so that it comes into the right file format and then upload it and all that kind of stuff, seeking approval, all of that kind of stuff. And then before we get to the announcing of who is getting the award or the orders, I did want to recognize other community members or fellow travelers for just like overall high levels of engagement on the server, plus other kind of small contributions or acts that they've done. Some of these people have not been as active in recent months, but I've taken into consideration of like overall contributions activity as well. And people here can DM me if they want to receive a little package, a little gift box. So I will be sending physical objects in the mail to these people for their for recognizing their support. But anyway, this is the small list. Okay, without further ado, we're gonna move to the awarding of the Order of Altera. First, we have actually I can't do the names. I cannot pronounce these names, so I'm not gonna say them. We have this person here for outstanding lore graphics. We have this person here who has actually been with the project like almost since its inception, kind of fell off the radar a bit, came back on, has been creating their own kind of side project with a lot of Altera references. So yeah, pretty awesome. This person here, Edouard Salidier, I think that's an easier name to pronounce. They were the ones who started the whole Hearts of Iron 4 thing, and it's on us for not continuing the work. There were expectations set, and we as a community just couldn't meet all of them. But what's really epic is to see that we can actually create the Altera landmass configuration, even with the relief layer in the Hearts of Iron 4 map generating thing. There is that other person who dropped into our server one time and gave us our first JSON or GIS related file. I don't know where they are anymore, but that was kind of an act of God. And if they ever see this and want to get in touch, I would also give them an order. Anyway, this person here got kind of, I think, started our whole transportation obsession phase with the ferry map. So that's really cool. And then also, obviously, these two people really they clutter our server. They are always talking on there, and they also can't make this timeline because I think they're in East Asia, so it's like 6 a.m. over there. But really appreciate all the levels of engagement that they've been putting into the project. Grass Taste Screen actually has also another map, and I would say is a strong contender for the ultimate winner of this year's prizes. But anyway, the other people that will be also getting the Order of Altera are these people here. For this is mostly because of project managing the spreadsheets or like outstanding contributions to flagging. And then these two people I owe a lot to, Falling Quetzal for Nahuatl and a bunch of Mesoamerican stuff. And this person, I can't pronounce their name, but a fellow Taiwanese person who has been instrumental in a lot of the East Asian kind of, is way more literate than I am, and also been really helping with the IPA stuff too. So yeah, huge shout out to these people, and they will all be receiving the Order of Altera pins at the end of the month. And to receive them, all they have to do is DM me. The last person is Jade, our most distinguished Popuchik. She really had an impressive capacity, I guess, over the last year. Made a bunch of cool contributions, really funky style and aesthetics, and just overall high levels of engagement across the board. So really, really thankful that she joined us in the last year or two, I believe. And also great flagger, flag maker too. She gets the most distinguished prize, which is actually, I didn't put on the slide here, but is a physical copy of the Atlas Zephyria map. So the Zephyria map, I haven't printed it yet, but I'm hoping to frame it in my home as well. And it's smaller than the Altera maps, so it can actually fit more of a small room and apartment setup. So I'll be sending that to Jade once she gets in touch, plus a pin. So congrats to Jade. Of course, one last thing is, we are just going to self-congratulate ourselves. The project team will all get a little pin. We all know who they are. The people here have been instrumental, have been really helpful, and this project couldn't be the way it is without their help. Actually, this project would be a lot easier if it wasn't for Frank, but, because he complicates stuff. That is the last slide for winners of the Order of Altera. And I think now we're doing sneak peeks. Here we have the most completed feature map other than the Africa etymologies map. And I'm not going to show you a sneak peek of the Africa etymologies map because I think I've posted snippets throughout the server before, and it's coming out next week anyway. But I am super excited about this. So first of all, these three little silhouettes kind of are in the style of the Katesh map that we did. Remember the map on the Katesh city-state in the Sinai? And Mateo put a lot of emphasis and effort into this. Probably broke the budget doing this kind of stuff, but we're all really happy and love the end results. There's one, he just finished Gondar. Spoiler alert, Gondar is one of the 5 campuses to be showcased here. And Gondar looks awesome. Anyway, so there's going to be 5 kind of scenes decked out over here, and they're the most beautiful campuses. And how they got that status, it's completely arbitrary, and it's just me trying to kind of spice up the map. Then we've got half of the data laid out here, but the data is already on the spreadsheet. So this is one of the other maps that we did, which got a lot of community contribution and support. Actually, Jade, Grass Taste Green, Mosaic, they were really helpful, and other people too. But we got a lot of community contributions for creating the data for this map. So I'm really happy for that. So stay tuned for this map. It's going to be released in February. And then this one actually has been stuck in development for, I think, 6 months or a year now. I was so close to finishing it, and now I have to reread all my research. But, yeah, something came up last year, and I had to kind of put this onto the side. But I'm really like, this is one of my kind of hobby interests. Like different ways of making alcohol. There's this French guy who actually has a couple YouTube videos. He divulges a lot about different ways of making alcohol historically and anthropologically. And I base a lot of my work off of his website too. And his website actually is a little bit hard to decipher too. It's not always consistently well translated. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And obviously, in Altera fashion, a lot of these terms are old Indo-European words or other languages, words from other languages that I've repurposed. And you'll have to see the footnotes that I'll release with this map to really see where they come from. Stay tuned for that. Another map that is in kind of development, which is more like an infographic and maybe infographic series, comes from our recent kind of huge discussions on animal domestication and meat, staple meats. We had one night we had a really lengthy conversation about types of meat and relativism about like meat taboos and stuff. And that just reminded me that I've been wanting to get this out for a long time. The data is not there yet, but this section here, the meat legend table, is completely done. I'll show you when I open up the spreadsheet. The cornucopia spreadsheet has the whole typology and analytical comparison set up. I had a lot of help with, for the last 10%, trying to get the distinctions done. And yeah, the data's not done yet. Possibly could open it up to community contributions or support, but I'm not really sure if it'll be like the most effective, streamlined way of doing it. I could count on some, more like religious nerds or religion nerds. Maybe Seabass can help me with some of this stuff, but we do want to kind of also map out like what each cultural dietary taboos entail. So, for example, this one, Yurqing, is something that I invented, and I think most of East Asia will hate me for it. But I found it quite interesting how throughout history, beef was kind of like, there was a lot of rules and taboos around beef, and also even like laws enacted about controlling beef consumption in East Asia, similar to kind of like India. And I know pork is a huge thing in East Asian food. Basically, pork is also part of that. And, the Yurqing diet is not supposed to be as like kind of totalizing as like halal or some of the other kind of diets that will surface and showcase. And that's why you can't really see here, but we'll talk about like how much of the population adheres to it, and for like if there's like timeline or seasonality considerations, right? So anyway, that was a little bit too much information. So this will come a bit later down the road, but for now, just know that this is in the works. And this is the first time we've also used FigJam or like a vision board to kind of map out the content. It used to be Mateo and I would just put things together on Illustrator. And yeah, that's actually the last of the sneak peeks, I think. This is the next exciting little thing to bring to the community. Decided that we are going to do community challenges. And this community challenge, the first one, is spurred from SMW's fascination with railways. And actually, Ganja used to also make maps, like railway maps for Altera. Anyway, so I've always been wanting to do something like this, and I thought, okay, well, a metro kind of map graphic like this must have like some kind of software that people do, because I see a lot of people making like fantasy metro maps for their part of the world, right? The challenge here is to do something like this map here, but for the Altera world. And I think it's like a very accessible challenge. I think if you use Metro Designer here, like we can kind of workshop it. If people don't like it, we can use something else. But if you use Metro Designer, and Mateo and I can beautify that further for the winning submission, and like if there's like 10 or 12 submissions, they can all go on the subreddit, right? But the winner will get beautified by Mateo and I, and it'll become an official feature map. And you'll also get a co-creator status. They'll get attribution. And they'll also receive a printed version of that final product, right? Of course, you'll get an Order of Altera, and second place will also even get an Order of Altera. So hopefully we get a lot of community engagement on this. I'm really excited to see it. And, there's no right answer, but there are a few requirements. Or there's no like kind of right final product we're looking for, but there are a few requirements, which is we want to show relevant cities as major stops. We want to show as all the connections to other routes. And, it might be cool to see quite a few connections. And, tunnels and bridges, obviously, for crossing major bodies of water. And for the purposes of this project or this kind of map, we won't be considering borders and customs. I know, like, recently we've been talking about, like Schengen zone, like free travel zones and stuff like that. We can't really be doing that kind of consideration right now for the purposes of this project because we haven't finished all of those economic blocks for the lore. We haven't finished finalizing all that yet. Plus, I think that would just like mess up the map aesthetics. And if you think about it, we're just trying to have like a whimsical map like this to really just show the high-speed rail networks that exist in Altera. We don't need to show how seamless the transfers are between each network, right? The other thing is like, you have to do a little bit of lore digging or consideration in terms of like population, like the existence of population corridors or like where the population density makes sense. But I think you can tell from just looking at the choreographical and the political map where all the major population centers are already. And yeah, so there's a lot of room for interpretation, and that's all I'm going to say for now. Mateo and I are going to release the kind of standalone graphics and the PDF for the prompt after this. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing what people do. You have a month to do this. The next one is just a little plugin for, we've got, I think, 9 countries left that don't have any flag submissions yet. Well, these 2, I just requested a redesign. But yeah, most of these ones, we just need some discussion or just people to create flags for these remaining countries so that we can plug them into this aspect of the university map, right? So we've got a huge collection of flags, and most countries are represented with those flags now, but these are some of the ones that kind of are left remaining. And if you are a flagger, this is a call to you to please help contribute. I know Pipe has been doing a lot of kind of managing and like kind of directing people of where they can like focus their efforts. So talk to Pipe if you want further direction. Anyway, so that's a little plugin there. I think I have one other plugin, which is that the Patreon has been doing quite well. And I just want to say, if you are a huge fan of the project and are not on Patreon yet, you can support the project, do a lot by joining the Patreon. Even the $1 tier is great. It's always just nice to see that people believe in the project. And we have a special offer there where I will be writing a postcard to you from the world of Altera. It will even have a postmark killer stamp. And so if you haven't received a postcard from me yet, this is a good excuse to do so. Anyway, so yeah, that's a little plug-in for the Altera Patreon. And I think that's it. That's it. Now we can actually have an actual Chinwag. So I don't know how people can just like come on and talk. I guess I can open up the floor for questions, or I can also allow people onto the stage. Okay, I should be able to hear you. Do you want to speak?
All right.
Oh, there you go.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. So my question is, do we know how most of the governments of the nations work? Have we had a discussion about that in chat?
We have, but first of all, Maz, are you from like the olden days, from like Earth 98?
Yeah.
Ah, nice to see you.
From way back.
Yeah. Okay, well, okay, glad you are here. We have had discussions. We have, I think Byzantine. I don't know if Byzantine's here right now, but Byzantine's been doing a lot of the. Well, they're really interested in politics, and they did. They started a spreadsheet about democracy index scores. Like they were just asking what kind of like data points they could help support in filling out. And part of that overlaps with regime type. And we've actually started a discussion on regime type classification schemes. I shared my basic one, and actually I can open up the fact book to show you.
All right.
So we have this kind of scheme here, which people have commented that it's like too abstract, and so we're gonna like this will be a good kind of infographic or kind of inset graphic where we plot different regime types, but we probably need more specific regime types to be labeled. So we need like a multiple comma regime type names. So like absolute, theocratic, monarchy or something. You know what I mean? Like
That makes
or like federated, republican, blah blah blah, right? So there's like at least 4 analytical data points or comparison points that we could use to make those regime type names, and then we could plot them along this kind of simplified scheme. So this is like a very basic thing that I created a long time ago. We haven't gone to that yet, but yeah, some community members have been really interested in helping develop it, and we'll just keep the conversation going for that.
all right.
Okay, wait, actually, while I'm here, I'll show you guys the spreadsheet. So this is like the basis that goes into the website fact book, right? And you can see the countries that have map plate posts about them, they're completely filled. And other ones, they're completely filled for, I think, the more kind of like meta stuff, like code, postal code, prefix, and just this basic kind of scheme about whether or not they're an independent or a substate. So yeah, this is something that it historically would have been filled out country by country as the map plates were developed. The map plates, of course, are on a standstill because we don't have the capacity to make them right now. This is where cornucopia, this is because I'm just like fascinated with ethnobotany, so there's a whole separate spreadsheet on that. This is the back-end scheme for animal staples. And we finally finalized our scheme. And there's a lot of like fancy pseudo terminology that we kind of coined for it. We also have a huge spreadsheet of crops. I think one day Frank will blow my mind, or make this task even more Herculean. But one day Frank might decide to dig into some kind of database about crops around the world and show me all the stuff that I don't have on my spreadsheet. So far, I've like limited to just these kinds of staple crops, so grains and seeds, seeds used for starch at least, and so that's what we have here. And then alcohol schemes. So this is like the basis for making the upcoming sparkling whatever map, and this is for spirits, distilled spirits. And then we had, I think, we've already done the staple steeps one, right? We've also done the chews and the smokes. So these 3 have been finished in terms of maps. And then, yeah, this is also something that gets filled out for the after the map plates are done. And then the one thing that has been actually completed is the Gaia Polyglotta spreadsheet, and that's on Patreon. But obviously it has to be updated now with the patch. But yeah, that one includes all the stuff for the writing systems, all the language families that are represented in Altera, some 230 of them or something, and then every language in Altera classified, right? And this is actually how Bernie was able to make that language family tree generator thing that we have on Frank's website. This thing. I don't know if everyone's seen it before, but this is an awesome gift that Bernie gave us. Anyway, any other questions?
Well, 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
To be fair with you, the thing is, I have a really poor quality mic because I don't have one. I'm using a laptop.
No, the mic's good.
But not a question. Any sorts. he was just wanting to pop in. Because to be fair with you, I haven't been too much around, been busy with life, and so to be fair, I've not even been looking online that much alone, let alone the server. However, for what we have seen, not just in the past year or so, but for the quite a few years of this project, I will say I think it is in order. I don't know if anybody said it or not. Again, I haven't checked, but I do think it is mighty time and mighty right to say that. Not only thank you to you, Telemon, but I think to the rest of the team for actually, just, I don't even want to just say doing this stuff or getting it done or creating an output. Hell, half the time, half the fun that I find here is just sort of watching the conversations and participating in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, sometimes it's the nice, I don't know, dialogue. You just don't. It's a space. What I'm saying is, thank you for being the ringleader of this community.
You're welcome, and thanks for the heartfelt message there. I should say, AJ, who's not here, but Maz will know. I think Maz actually was there when it started, but like. AJ started the server or helped me start this server. I had no idea about how all this kind of stuff worked, right? Discord and whatnot, chat rooms, the likes of that. So it is pretty cool what's come out of it all. So gotta say thank you back to everyone else for staying interested.
I mean, hey ho, man. I really don't think there's many other spaces out there, well, at least that I've seen, for the specific type of community that's come about here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you mean super geeks?
Not just super geeks, but super geeks with an visually appealing website and spreadsheets to gawk at.
Yeah, super, and started by super geeks with too much time, who now don't have enough time. Wait, one thing I should say while you're here is that 2026, we're going to be doing the FIFA betting again. And I think Jackson Lagrange found a way to generate... You know how we used to be doing all the match generations with that Excel spreadsheet based on the fake stats?
Yes.
I think we now have a way more beefed up way of doing match generations. And that's going to be epic. So 2026, we're going to do another whole tournament where, unfortunately, the best way to kind of like make it engaging is to bet. But we're going to do the whole tournament again. We're going to get the whole gang back together. Hopefully D for Detroit comes back for that. I forget who actually was the ultimate winner, but you were one of the huge winners because you bet. Someone would bet. Someone did a lot of like careless betting and they won. That
was me.
Oh yeah.
I figured out that I cheated your system a bit.
You cheated?
You didn't set enough caveats as to what we could do, and I figured out that I can bet more money than I have. I think.
What? Oh, wait, what?
But that's like the real world. You and like the problem here is I'm not a loan shark that can come and like beat you up for the money.
The house doesn't.
Wait, are we betting real money?
No. Remember, we had fake currency. We had fake currency, but the currency was pegged to prizes, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure you won something
the
too.
Tickets.
Or Aurelian won something.
I did win a shirt.
Yeah.
One of the crew necks, and then my mate got me whatchamacallit, the poster.
Oh yeah, because your friend was like an expert sports bettor.
He did really good. He's gonna be. I think he's very excited for the return.
Mm-hmm.
I can't lie to you. During the betting, when I was still at uni, I'm quite sure most of the nights when I was putting the bets in, I'm quite sure I was like half tipsy, so I had no strategy. Just to say,
nice.
I was just going off the ball.
We're gonna actually expand it, right? I think that's what some people are saying, that we can actually feasibly, mathematically expand the tournament to include more countries in the first knockout stage. But wait, how do I get to myself? I can't find my stuff sometimes. We had this. So this was the transportation one for the FIFA one. Look at. Okay, here we go. Look at these amazing ranking tables. Like,
They were sick.
It's
They were
gonna,
awesome.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And all these like fake logos we created. World Sports Council. I don't know what happened there. I think that was on purpose. But look at all these flags. So yeah, so there's gonna be another incentive for another big batch of flags to be made, to update or to add to the countries that make it here. I'm sure a lot of these countries will be contenders again for the next round. Okay, wait, back to this. We had the rankings, and then we had the scores. Amazing. And our staging. We created so many for this, and then we even used Newfoundland English to create this like little Iceland anecdote.
Oh yeah, no. I remember seeing this and absolutely losing my head over it because because the thing is, I was trying to read it and genuinely it sounded like I was out of stroke.
Dildo shipping news. Big nod to Dildo of Newfoundland. Also, one of my favorite Newfoundland or Canadian authors, Michael Crummy. That's a nod to them. There's a lot of little Easter eggs that we throw into the project.
Look at that. It says the little country that could.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And over the pond. What's after happening now? Oh man, this is hilarious. But then with such amazing kind of like table aesthetics, courtesy of Mateo. Typical windmark, said Hannison. Right indeed. That was great. Anyway, yeah, and then stuff like this. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to create stuff like this for the next World Cup.
Where's it gonna be set?
That's probably something that the community can help decide. We probably want something that's like a hub for like kind of like medium-sized countries that can have the capacity to do it, but that will like collaborate, right? I think we talked about. Did we already talk about another area that would be ripe for it?
Because last time it wasn't like a specific country; it was the
Mediterranean.
Yeah. Like where would it be fun? Oh, Mateo's here.
Yes. Could be a nice idea to highlight. What was it? Central West Africa. That is like a kind of a commercial hub in Altera, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. The African lions or the Ghanaian lions. Yeah. Yes, that would make sense.
And that's something like a place of the world you don't really hear much about it, but it should be interesting. Could be interesting.
Yes, for sure. That could be a good. We could put it to a vote too. But yeah, I think that's actually a really good idea. Good spot.
If I may say something, speaking on what Zvaner has said, we could try we could do like OTL Australia, that area.
Where?
Like Triwara.
Oh yeah.
That area maybe.
Yeah. In the southern hemisphere, that could be another one. Now, keep in mind, Jackson Lagrange also said we could do the same for rugby and baseball. I forget if that's what they mentioned.
Like concurrently, or
well, no, not concurrently, but we should like we lost initiative, or not the initiative, but we lost the opportunity for the World Series because it just happened. But the next time that comes around, we can actually have a real Altera World Series, and that would be a good way to set it up somewhere in like in like Serica, right, to showcase Serica. The Pampas would be a great another spot. That would be good for soccer, football. Cricket or baseball might be good in Guinea. Anyway, so like there's like we could strategically pick locales for these world tournaments based on where they're well loved, right? Yeah, and then make a wiki page. Yeah. Our FIFA wiki page was pretty good. It's a pretty good wiki page.
I believe Quarian altered. Just sorry to change the topic, but and then people reacted to it. Are there any plans to do anything with the Olympics? When are the Olympics again? Actually,
Oh, shit.
I forget.
It just happened. Didn't
2020.
The-
Well,
the-
winter ones will be next.
I think
year,
it's 2028.
and then 2028. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta say I have zero interest in swimming and diving, but the Olympics would be a good one actually. To have like a medal stuff. Like yeah, we could definitely do an Olympics one. If people want to like kind of guide me through all the sports and stuff, because I yeah. Okay, damn hockey. Hockey should be one.
Is there not that sport that's done in the Scandinavian, the Crown lands? I forget. I recall this is on the one of the old maps from like a years ago or something.
You mean the bat or what do you call it? Safe haven sport?
Yes.
Let's see. Yes, that one would be a fun one. That one I think it doesn't have as much global presence. Let me find it.
No,
Probably under Centopian Cosmos.
How do you say that?
What?
I just pulled up the map on my end. to see
Yeah,
what was
it
called.
sounds kind of honestly. It sounds like an alcohol name.
Sounds like Pepsi. I'm not gonna lie.
me when I have my Pisas Pilsner. All right.
Or like a liqueur or something. Any sports hosted in Katesh and Liberum? Yeah, possibly. It could be like, I don't think it could host any event by itself though, right? Like we showed on the Katesh map stadiums, but I don't think it could host a whole tournament. But it could be like Katesh, Egypt, obviously Palestine and Israel, but you know we probably don't want to go there right now. So.
Aye, not a good time.
Mm-hmm. Not a good
If we
time.
wanted to go in for Katesh, we could do like a Red Sea kind of thing.
Yeah, you mean
Because
like?
we're adding all the island nations.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. So going south instead. Yeah.
Yeah. I was also thinking we could do one like the Caribbean or the Gulf of Mexico, or just like across that entire.
Well, yeah. I mean
That'd
that
be cool.
that other sport that we have.
The wall soccer. That's not it.
Damn. How do I go back? I can't find this stuff. This one.
You mean the Mayan game?
Yeah. The Mayan game plus the runners game. Honestly, I'd love to see Ultimate with the boomerangs. I'd love to see that as an actual sport.
That would definitely be interesting.
And
Also,
Australian rules football.
The World Nomad Games were held in Kazakhstan this year,
Oh yeah.
and I watched a bit of it, and I gotta say, much more interesting to watch for me than any of the Olympics.
Was there a horse archery?
Oh, there's like loads of Turkic, especially traditional games. You have like falconry, mounted archery,
Oh, nice.
wrestling.
Well, I mean, polo. I
Any-
think polo started with the Turkic or Mughal
Bone throwing.
horse polo. I mean, but yeah, that's cool. What was I gonna say? Istanbul apparently is like the mecca of archery, like world archery competitions. My archery teacher here, when I was doing archery, she would gather a team from Vancouver each year to go there. I didn't make the cut, but still, kind of cool. Oh yes, and chess. We already have like, I haven't done the data, but I basically have a complete list of all the abstract strategy games, right? So it's Go. By the way, we have Altera Go. Frank, I don't know if it's still working, but let's see. Oh, it is. We have how did we? Oh, he joined the chat. That's fun. But Go, and then the Hawaiian game Konane. This one plus Mancala and chess. those are the ones that I could identify as perfect abstract strategy games. And so there will be a map on that. That's something that I like. I'm a diehard fan of. So that definitely will be a future map.
What about the Royal Game of
The game of is luck based, my friend. You gotta throw the. Well, I mean, they don't know the exact rules, but I think the consensus right now is that it requires luck, right? You roll those little triangular dice.
Oh, well.
Hey, Dirty Dan's here. Anyway, what else? Yeah, we have some fun community games that we could do in the future. Yeah, the challenge. I hope.
Competitive Alterado.
Oh yeah, we have Alterado. Frank is supposed to make. Look at that. This is the what it would look like. Once we design it. I mean, this is the envisioned. I don't know if it's actually going to be feasible, but yeah, that's something that we have in the works.
That will be cool when it gets finished.
Yeah, but yeah, we have that. But I do want to emphasize that I'm really, really, really curious to see what people do with the Metro map challenge, because, I mean, this one I think is the easiest one for me to let go of the lore, to let people like make what they want with it, because there's like so many possibilities, and there's no right way, no one way to do it. So I think it'll be a really kind of good way to get community contribution that way.
One thing about that. In Metro Designer, I don't think you can easily extract the SVG graphic.
I thought you said you could.
Can do it? Yeah, you can do it, but not easily.
Okay, then what I should probably say is we get them. I can change this, but we probably get them to submit via the Metro Designer website, right? Like, because you can share it on that platform. Then everyone can view it.
It must be possible to just. I haven't tried it yet, but I think you can get an URL to share and maybe just email the URL.
Exactly. So they email the URL to us, and we'll do the whole finagling. Okay, so let's see. Any other orders of business to address? Oh, yeah. I mean, how do you let them speak? Okay, there you go.
Hello, Mitko. Hearing me?
Yeah.
Welcome. We hear you.
Yeah, I think I recall you said, I can't remember, I cannot find it, whatever, in one of the chat rooms. You said there'll be like a strain on the order, like to the future? Like you'd like the world, like the political system, like strained somewhat? I can't remember what you said exactly. Yeah, like in law, you were saying something about this, I can't remember what though.
A strain, like STRAIN?
Yeah, not those words exactly, but it's how I remembered it.
Maybe I was just. You mean like when I was referencing how the deadline for this thing?
No, this was back like quite a month ago, maybe. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm rambling.
Okay, if you can give me more context, I might be able to remember.
Yeah, it was about the law. It was like how Altera, like the world, would look going into the future.
Oh, going to the future. I see. Darn. What did I say?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the update?
Yeah, you mean the update, the patches, or?
Yeah, are you referring to that, or do you mean like literally in the future, like the future of the lore, the future timeline?
As the timeline moves.
Oh, okay.
As the timeline, like the lore itself.
Yeah.
Can I search when I'm in the event
You
section?
probably could. By the way, may I say this is awesome that this is the first time we've heard your voice. So it's great to be able to put a voice to your name. Also, how do you pronounce your name?
Maz? That's how everyone pronounces it.
No, not you, Maz. Sorry, I meant the sunglasses. Wait, say it again.
Dagamelior.
Ah.
Everything is phonetic. Everything's phonetic.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Anyway, so yeah, if you can find it, I'll be able to speak more to it. Yeah, it's too bad that the chats won't be saved. We have not done a plate tectonics map yet. I'm just hoping that it all is okay.
Get Grim to do that for you.
Grim? Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even want to go there.
Climate maps and stuff like that.
Yeah, we got the climate stuff down, but man, plate tectonics. I mean, we have to, I think, invent a Juan de Fuca plate equivalent for Peru. That I know. I don't want to do a plate maps,
Oh, shit.
but we need to invent
Falina.
We need to invent microplates for Peru to justify the second order coastline right by the coast. You know, the one that's like.
Falima, right?
Pardon?
Well, how would it be that like wouldn't you might have to invent a plate for Australia and stuff though, right?
Australia is more like
Oh.
like the sea level versus rebounding of the earth, or not rebounding, but like the elevation that was there in the first place is just a little different. Just kind of like how the Kerguelen Plateau is just, for some reason, it didn't erode as fast. But Peru, there's a mountain chain all along the coast that Varyagan a long time ago pointed out is like impossible because, you know, the whole Pacific Rim has mountains right up to the coast, except for places like where there are microplates. So where I am, there's like a series of mountains along the coast that are parallel. And that's because of 3 microplates interacting in between the North American and Pacific plates.
So Siluria and Australia won't have to have plates invented for them or anything.
I don't. So Siluria, I think. So Kerguelen and Australia, they match mostly. Like, you know, and you know the lore could be that the microplate for Australia is just a little bit larger than it was OTL. Siluria is, I think, based off of a real seamount chain. Again, it's not as believable though because usually that only results into small islands, but here we have a giant one. So yeah, I mean, sure, maybe we have to invent plates for that. I think we don't go there though. That's like too much. That will destroy the project. Yeah, that will destroy the project. We just gotta have kind of suspension of disbelief. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how hard it could be. Because we have, I think something that would definitely help a lot is somebody made like an overlay of the IRL map on, I think like the 2023 update. And so we could probably just overlay most of the plates onto the Altera map.
True.
I'm thinking about the map right now, and I think the only plates that we would have to add would be the ones by Peru. I don't know if Australia really needs one. I would have to think about where the intersection of like the Indian, African, and Australian and Antarctican plates.
I'm free. I'm out of class. Just to say that. I mean, the Kerguelen Plateau is on the Antarctic plate in our timeline, I think.
Is it? It's not a separate plate?
No, it's not. I think it's just on the Antarctic plate.
Oh, shit. I always assumed it was kind of like Madagascar. Like it was. Is Madagascar its own free-floating plate?
No, I don't think so.
Crazy. Okay.
I thought Madagascar wasn't.
Well, Madagascar might be. I don't remember, but Kerguelen is definitely in the Antarctic plate.
Yeah, I think Kerguelen is just like remnants after everything tore off, like after Gondwana split apart.
Madagascar is on the same plate as East Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The Somali plate, I think it's called. Like the one that's splitting along the Rift Valley.
Oh, by the way, the Rift Valley is like rapidly spreading more than expected. Hey, that was one of the headlines I was reading recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I think a whole magnitude faster. I mean, not in our lifetime, but 100,000 years later, instead of millions of years later, it's going to separate. So if anyone ever wants to do like a fun little Rift Valley Alt Geo kind of spin-off, that might be cool.
An Altera Pangea Proxima map would be really cool.
Oh my god! I think it would just be a Pangea Proxima map. I don't think we've changed enough for it to really change what Pangea Proxima would look like.
Well then, surely what you do then is you overlay where the countries in the modern time, in the 2020 period, are over that, like all the other, you know, like, have you never seen those before? Where it's, where the countries would be if it was in Pangea.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Somebody else can do that. That sounds like a pain in the ass.
It is a huge pain in the ass.
It's a lot of work.
And also, one thing is, my friend Marty was here and found some like GitHub code for for extracting all the information we revealed on the server, like I've divulged, because it's a huge pain to extract the information or the text that has been written in each of these channels. There's no feasible way, I think. Anyway, so Marty found a couple maybe leads, but we're not sure if any of it will be super easy to do and to implement. So I'll share in the server for anyone who is into coding and that kind of stuff. I obviously don't want to use Frank's time for this. So we'll probably have to see if there's any other volunteers, because you know we can't always rely on Frank. But yeah, that's another kind of thing I want to do. So that, plus I want to have a full inventory of Altera's maps. I want to just like somehow keep track of what we've done, because we've done a lot, and I hate that I have to go into DeviantArt to find out what I did. Also, it's like 2 a.m. for Seabass, I think, or 2:30.
Yep. I'm low-key falling asleep. But it was a good time.
Well, yeah,
I enjoyed this.
This is the first time we've done something like this, and
yeah,
I don't know how the YouTube video will turn out. Hopefully, I recorded the audio well this time. Like last time, the audio I did a test, but you know I don't trust technology, and I have a suspicion that things might have gone awry in between me testing and doing this. But anyway, we'll see.
It'll work out. Maybe we could do something like this like every 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, it could be also like maybe when we release the patch, we can all have like a patch celebration kind of party.
Yeah, when maps drop or when videos drop.
Yeah, especially the patch though. The patch one will be great.
Yeah.
And it will also be so terrifying because immediately people will start finding mistakes, and I hate that. I hate the patch of the patch, the patching of the patch. That is the worst.
Yeah, after we pre-patch it.
Yeah.
And the contributors all.
Yeah. And oh god. Yeah.
You get us early copies, we will comb them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. I want the combing.
This project is going to fall apart the moment someone from Papua New Guinea finds it.
I know. Yes, actually, the biggest fear, but also the biggest desire I have, is to get someone from Peru. Actually, I would love to get someone who can actually speak or write in Quechua. That would be a real level up. I think I figured out how it works, but just like how I thought I figured out how Nahuatl works, after meeting Falu Quetzal, it's like it just blew my mind, right? Sanskrit is so hilarious. Sanskrit is like you kind of like black box the toponyms. You like throw in the inputs and like purposely gargle or like jumble it. Man, my English is not great these days. You what do you call it? Like mash it all up together, and then you get a weird kind of Frankenstein end. Because like I think from Sanskrit, like from pure Sanskrit to a final toponym, it gets like super affected by, I guess, like oral dialects and just like people bastardizing. So like if you look at any of the toponyms in India, like they completely get compressed and changed. But yeah, so actually, yeah, we do have some Hindi speakers and a few other like Indian language speakers on the server, but none who are as like active. But yeah, so like if someone really active from that part of the world comes in, there will be a lot of changes there too. Although I can also always just say the organic morphing of the toponym, right? But yes, Papua would destroy us. Already Papua's destroying me. I have 25 countries to add with
oh god.
Right, and that's a huge challenge. I'm thinking about adding little micro islands all along the coast. Or like
each country the size of a postage stamp.
But you know, like I was thinking like You know how we have like the parallel archipelagos of the Salomas, or what do you call it? Rovumas? Or maybe? What are they called?
Yeah.
Oh, Rovianas. The Rovianas. I was thinking just continuing like an island archipelago arc. Smaller islands, mind you, that follows. Because we do have quite a bit empty space in the Rahita Sea. So that would be, if I should, like, I've been doing a bit of Alt Geo already for the patch. If I'm going to do Alt Geo, I might as well use it where I really need it.
That's the kind of area where you might want to start looking out for microplates, though.
Yeah. The other thing, though, is, like, I really don't want to do Alt Geo for Papua for the specific reason that it's, like, more mind-blowing to see that much language diversity, language family diversity all crammed together into one. Obviously it's not realistic that there would be that many countries, people would say, but this is a balance of realism plus the purpose of showing the language diversity and ethno-linguistic diversity, right?
I feel like it's reasonable though, right? Because it's like the whole conceit of this, the whole parameters of this is the fact that it's a modern format. The assumption being that what we're mapping here, exists. And safe to say, I will say, just like in Papua New Guinea now, just as there is historically and even presently today, there are, organizations of society you just can't really, you really just can't equate.
Yeah.
Like for example, like whenever people try to anachronistically map medieval Europe, it's like, it really means nothing aside like the claims of the kings.
Yeah.
And their territories.
It doesn't mean much. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So to be fair with you, I feel like if anybody's too upset, it's like realistically, we're not doing anything worse than like half the anachronism that happens just on to like day to day when people feel like they're being taught about medieval, European history or whatever.
Or even political maps in general, like in the last like 200 years for colonial claims, a lot of times they didn't really actually weren't really able to commit the people, the administration, and the troops to holding things beyond the cities and the major roadways of a lot of these colonial territories. Plus, also, even today, you have a lot of countries where they don't have de facto control of major areas.
More or less, many borders are kind of just constructs.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really tell when the United States ends and Canada begins unless there's some kind of border marking.
Well, there's the whole cut down, all the trees cut down, right?
Like,
which to be fair with you is a very funny thing because it's the literal projection of the imaginary map onto the real world for the sake of these political entities, which I find always very amusing.
Medieval maps, like, kings more or less only held like castles, pastures, and like people's homes. Like, other than that, they didn't really control the forest because no one lived there. Like, no one was actively going out and trying to enforce rules or customs.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being living in like rural France during the 1300s on the border of like the Holy Roman Empire. Like, no one's gonna notice when France stops and the empire starts.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, unless you have an actual physical border, like a mountain range or something, a very wide river, a visible border that
Mm-hmm. Jeez, man, it's been what?
Oof.
Is it 1 a.m. over there in Europe?
Almost 20 minutes.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think I'll have to go, but I'll thank the hardcore people that stayed here until the end.
Yes,
it's very nice to see you people around the server and everything.
Yes, I think we should all probably end in the next minute or so. Thank you all for joining.
course.
Especially for the people over in Europe and yeah, maybe we'll do this again. Hopefully sooner than later. And I will post the winners or the awardees and the challenge in the announcements channel, and then I'll post a YouTube video of this soon. So thanks for all joining.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Bye everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Best of luck, folks. Ta-da.
Take care all.
Yep.
Bye, everyone.